Alright, as you can see, I've got the interior out of the truck now. I've removed the front seat and dropped it off at my upholsterer, which I'll introduce everybody to when I go back to pick it up. And all in all, the cab isn't too bad. We've got some surface rust here where the sill plates attach, a little bit on here and under here. The driver's side is has a little bit more going on. Take a walk around there. And as you can see, we've got there's no holes in the floor, but there's just some surface rust. So what we'll do is we'll scrape all that and we'll treat it with some F350 rust inhibitor, and that will keep it from spreading and keep the floor from getting any worse. Also, we have to find a water leak. There's somewhere under the dash water's coming in from the cowl area, and I believe that it's coming in. It's a little dark in there. Let me get my light. Inside of this cowl area, there is a seam. I don't know if you can see it down in there. But there's a seam where the pieces of the firewall come together, and I believe that's where the water's coming in at. So I'm going to go ahead and run a bead of seam sealer along through there and hopefully get that sealed up. I got to water test everything. But on this side here, we've got some holes. We've got a hole here and a hole here, and again, this is where the sill plate's attached to. So the screws going through the floor have caused this to rust out. Other than that, just some small minor repairs we need to do. There's a little bit of a hole back here on the back side of the cab, and we'll go ahead and repair that, and about the same thing on the other side. And then we can go ahead and get these jambs all scuffed and get these painted up. And what do you think, Ashton? Are we gonna get this cleaned up here soon? You're gonna help me clean up all these door jambs? Yep. So they can get painted? Yep. Alright. Well, we better get to work then if we're going to get something done, huh? Yeah. And we have to climb up the ladder for that. Climb up on the ladder for that? Yeah, because it's a little tall for you to reach up there, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Well, we'll get you a ladder so you can get started on all that. Well, where is it? Well, we'll find one for you. And it's under the ground somewhere. Alright. Well, let's get to work, okay? Let's get to work. Alright, well, I've jumped ahead a bit. I'm going to be honest. I forgot to film a lot of this stuff. But it's not anything you haven't seen me done before. We're back on the Ford project. We are at the point where, as you can see, we're back in the paint booth. And I've been working on getting the door jambs prepped. I had to fix some rust back here on these cab corners. This side here had some rust back in here, and some of the bracing underneath needed repair. The passenger side just had a slight bit rust come around the corner, and I was actually able to use one of the pieces from the rear patch panels that I got for the bed to fix this with. It had the same contour as this cab corner, so that worked out really well. So where we're at is I got everything scuffed. I've got I just put 2 coats of epoxy primer on everything in where the jambs go. I've got the area laid out where my border stripe is going to go once the brown paint gets done. So what you see here is, when I painted the top of the cab orange, I came down to here and cleared it. So this already has new paint on it. So what you see in blue here will actually stay orange after this gets painted. And I'm going to continue this inside of here now that I've got this primed, because this orange still needed to be painted in here. So I'm going to paint this orange tomorrow, and then I'll lay my piece of tape back in here, because I'm going to continue my border stripe inside the door jamb opening up to this edge here, unlike the factory stopped it at the edge of the door opening. So it'll just, if you see inside the door opening, you'll still see the border stripe inside of there. So anyhow, that leaves all this ready. Tomorrow morning I can come out here and spray my brown, or my orange, which basically will go from here around to about here. Will be all orange, this side and the other side. And then once the orange dries for about an hour or so, I can come in and I'll tape it here and cover all this. And then, like I said, I'll lay my border stripe in here and tape all of this off here so this doesn't get any brown on it. And pretty much the rest of this inside the door jamb gets done brown. Now this section here gets done orange, and all of this gets done orange in between. So from here to here it'll stay orange, and then I'll mask that and this will get done brown. So that's where we're at with this project. I'll bring you back after we get some color on. Alright, step one complete. I got my orange done in here, and also my section along here, which is to be the center of the body that gets orange all along the whole length of the truck. So now that we're going to let that set for about an hour, let it get good and dry, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to tape up from here to here, here to here, cover that. Cover all this inside of here, put a line here, and also bring my border tape here for my border line, and I'll come back in with the brown. Alright, second coat, color coat on. We got the brown in, cut in nice in the front, got our door hinge area all done. Rocker panels all done. Pulled the tape and the paper off. So we got our contrasting colors here. We got our border stripe done. So we are ready to do some clear coat and seal this up. Okay, next morning, back in the booth. Let everything dry overnight. Ashton's going to help me get the paper pulled off the bed that we put on to keep some extra overspray off the bed. And how's everything look, Ashton?
Good, and we got this. And we got the paper. We had to take off.
Yeah, everything come out looking pretty good.
And we got to take this off. And we got to take...
Got to take the plastic off the doors and the paper off the bed.
This off, and I'm going to take it off.
Okay, go ahead and take that paper off the bed there for me. Now pull it from the bottom. There you go. Okay, now let's take the plastic off the door here. See, you push the corner in. Oh, let's see. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Careful. Oh, no, don't get in the truck. There you go. Yep, pull the tape off and it'll come off. There you go. Here, look. Watch out. you gotta just kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be hard to get off there. It's stuck to the paint. I'll have to cut that. I'll have to cut that away. Easy, take it easy. You got to take it easy. The paint's still soft. See, there it goes. All right, there. Pull it down. Everybody needs a good unmasker.
Yeah, and we gotta take that off.
Yep, I'll get all that off in a little while. So what do you think? How's the paint look? Did it come out good?
Yeah.
It's good and shiny?
Yeah.
All right. So that leaves the door jambs done. Now the next step I need to do, I'm going to mount the doors back on so that I can line up my border stripe here with the door, because it does come on the door and go up. There's a little section of orange that's right here on the door, so we need to make sure that I get this stripe lined up right. And so I'll just remount the doors temporarily, and I'll get that lined up after I get the block sanded, and then I can lay the doors down in here and paint them off the truck so that there's no overspray getting on what I just painted, and I don't have to worry about masking any of this. But I wanted to do the jambs as much as I could without the doors on, so that they didn't have a hard break line. When the paint goes inside the door jamb, it just flows right inside, just like the factory does. So that's why I painted them with the doors off. So that's the next step in getting some paint work done. The doors are ready for blocking. They shouldn't need any additional body work done to them, so it should be just a matter of getting them blocked out, sanded, and then I'll give them another coat of epoxy that'll seal them up one more time, and then I'll mount them and get my lines set and pull them back off and put some paint on it. So one other thing we did today, this morning, I picked up the glass. So I've got the rear window back that goes on here, and the side glass and the wing vent windows. Everything got some tint put on them. So I got to get those out of the truck and put those vent windows back together, and those will be ready to go back in the doors once we get the doors painted. That's another reason why I want to get the doors painted, so I can get them mounted back on the truck permanently and get all the internals put back in, window regulators, all the window slides and the door locks and everything put back in. So that's the next few steps we got to do, and once I get the glass out, I'll show you all the vent windows once I get them put together, and we'll go from there. Just a quick look back. I got all the masking paper off and tape off. You can see how the border stripe came out. Now there's a little ridge right here that we'll take care of with some fine sandpaper. I'll come back with some 2000 grit and just sand this edge just to get that hardness off of there, and then just hit it with some rubbing compound, and it'll bring the gloss back. But you can see I brought the border stripe inside the door jamb. Originally that stripe ended right here on the corner, and there was nothing inside. So when you looked in the gap, the door gap, you didn't see this border stripe. I wanted to bring this in. I just thought it looks a little bit more finished. You won't see it past here. This is originally how the factory ended this color transition. It was just stopped right here, no border stripe here. So I think it looks better with the border stripe inside the door jamb myself. And so that's how I did it.